At least 19 assassination attempts have been made against Ibrahim Traoré since the very first day he became president of Burkina Faso on October 6, 2022. At just 37 years old, Ibrahim Traoré is seen as a symbol of revolution in charting Africa's future, a continent whose riches have long been stolen by the West. His bold decision to govern independently and put his people first without foreign interference has made Europe and the United States increasingly uneasy. Although colonialism officially ended in the mid-20th century, Africa's relationship with the West is still widely regarded as a new form of colonialism, or neo-colonialism. The West continues to treat the African continent as a reserve of natural resources to be exploited. Ibrahim Traoré boldly expelled French troops from his country and rejected any Western influence from regaining control over Burkina Faso. So in this video, we'll look at a young and fearless leader, a man who has become deeply despised by Western powers. The name Burkina Faso might be unfamiliar to many, until a young leader born in 1988, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a Sunni Muslim, rose to spark a revolution in Africa. While past presidents wore expensive tailored suits, Ibrahim Traoré chooses only to wear his military uniform. He's becoming globally known for his courage in confronting Western arrogance. His father was a teacher and his mother a homemaker, and since childhood, Traoré was known for his intelligence and patriotism. He became president of Burkina Faso following a coup in September 2022, overthrowing former President Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who failed to control the threat of militant terrorism. Burkina Faso is a landlocked country with no access to the sea, bordered by Mali, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ivory Coast, and Ghana. The name Burkina Faso, meaning Land of Honest People, was adopted on August 4, 1984. The country gained independence from France in 1960 and was previously known as Upper Volta. Ibrahim Traoré was born in Bondoukoui in western Burkina Faso and studied geology at the University of Ouagadougou before joining the military in 2010. He graduated as an officer from the Georges Namonau Military School. After that, he fought against armed terrorist groups and militants. He served in the northern and central regions of Burkina Faso, areas that were severely affected, before joining the UN peacekeeping mission in Mali in 2018 and was promoted to captain in 2020. As president, Ibrahim Traoré has focused on national security, taking on the enormous challenge of defeating armed groups that have been gaining strength since attacks first broke out in Mali in 2015. Violence breeds violence, and it is no surprise that some of the violence in resource-rich African countries is fueled by nations with vested interests. In his 3 years as the leader of this West African nation, Ibrahim Traoré has successfully driven France out, ending their control and looting of Burkina Faso's natural resources. Africa is not poor. It is immensely rich. That's why foreign powers never stop trying to dominate it. According to reports, gold is abundant in South Africa, Ghana, Mali, Sudan, and Burkina Faso. Diamonds are found in Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In Zambia, copper is one of the country's major resources. Meanwhile, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, cobalt reserves are so vast, they supply more than half the world's demand. Many European countries reached modern development by plundering Africa's natural wealth, while claiming the status of First World. Africa loses nearly $89 billion every year to illicit financial flows through tax evasion and theft, a number far greater than the so-called aid given by the West. Though colonial rule officially ended, true independence has not yet been achieved in most African nations. Channeling money to corrupt politicians ensures these countries remain unstable. Burkina Faso is in a hotspot for brutal extremist activity that targets civilians. About 40% of its territory is under the control of groups affiliated with armed extremists like ISIS in the West African Sahel. Armed groups like ISIS are inherently opportunistic, and they've moved into countries suffering from poverty, corruption, and religious conflict, like much of West Africa. Now, Burkina Faso has expelled all French troops and strengthened military ties with Russia, a Western rival, to help fight the armed insurgency. There are also unconfirmed reports and rumors that North Korea has sent 700 commandos to Burkina Faso to assist President Ibrahim Traoré. In an era where many African leaders are seen as Western puppets, President Ibrahim Traoré is forging his own path and identity. At just 37 years old, this young leader boldly challenges colonial power structures, rejects Western financial institutions, and prioritizes national sovereignty over foreign influence. His leadership has sparked debate and even criticism. Still, many see him as the revolutionary figure Africa desperately needs right now. Since taking office in 2022, Burkina Faso's GDP has increased from 18.8 billion US dollars to 22.1 billion US dollars, defying predictions that the economy would collapse under military rule. His economic reforms included radical cuts to government spending. In most African countries, leaders and politicians live in luxury while the people struggle. Traoré slashed ministers' and parliament members' salaries by 30%, while increasing civil servants' salaries by 50%. Despite being president, he still holds the rank of captain in the military. For decades, Burkina Faso's natural wealth, like gold, cotton, and agriculture, enriched foreign companies while keeping the local population poor. The current government aims to take full control of its resources, especially gold. Burkina Faso is one of Africa's largest gold producers and, in 2023, ranked 4th on the continent. France stole 173 tons of gold from Burkina Faso between 2012 and 2016. France has the 4th largest gold reserve in the world, 2,436 tons, stored in the Banque de France, even though there are no gold mines in France itself. In 2023, Burkina Faso produced about 57 tons of gold, roughly 1.8% of global output. Gold makes up a major portion of the country's export income and government revenue. In April 2025, Burkina Faso granted a new industrial mining license to Russian company Nordgold for a new gold project. The government has also begun to industrialize the country by building Burkina Faso's first tomato processing plant and a second cotton factory, breaking the cycle of raw material exports that have long weakened African economies. These industries not only create thousands of jobs for the people of Burkina Faso, but also reduce dependence on imported goods, strengthening the country's economic resilience. Another strategy is to expand education and economic opportunities for women and youth. Ibrahim Traoré reportedly declined an offer from Saudi Arabia to build 200 new mosques in the country. Instead, he encouraged investment in critical infrastructure, schools, hospitals, and businesses that could create real jobs for citizens. According to him, Burkina Faso already has enough mosques, many of which are underutilized, but it desperately needs projects that directly benefit the people. President Ibrahim Traoré is also committed to building economic autonomy, so that Burkina Faso doesn't need to rely on foreign aid. He has rejected offers from the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, firmly stating Africa doesn't need the West to develop and must not continue being enslaved by foreign debt. This statement has resonated deeply with many Africans who have long believed that the continent's vast natural wealth is more than enough for development. African nations have been dependent on foreign loans for far too long, loans that come with strings attached and often do more harm than good. What President Ibrahim Traoré is doing is more than just a political stance. It is a call for Africans to rise and stand on their own. With a clear vision and strategic leadership, Burkina Faso is on the path to a remarkable transformation. The results will begin to show in the years ahead. It is a development worth watching, proof that true leadership, backed by internal strength and a people-first mindset, can lead a nation forward even after decades of instability and poverty.